question 13. This is probably one of the hardest questions I've ever seen and one of the most complicated to explain in good detail. This is very unlikely to come up again, so don't worry too much about it. However, the answer. So, farmer has X pigs and enough food, for X pigs for Y days. So the total amount of food he's got is how many pigs he has times by how many days. So in total, he's got X, Y amount of food. That's the complete amount of food he's got. Because to work out how much food he's got, it'll be each pig and how many days times together, and that'll tell you how much food they're going to eat. If we want to know how long that amount of food will feed Z pigs, we are going to share that total amount of food between Z pigs, and that is the answer. Write down an assumption you have made. You are assuming that all pigs eat the same amount, or that all pigs eat the same every day, or every day the pigs share equally. That's basically the assumption we're making. Wouldn't worry too much about that question. Express as a single fraction. So to have a single fraction, we need to make sure the denominator is common. So we're going to have these two as the denominator. We're going to take that one up there and multiply, and that one up there and multiply. So we're going to have x times by x plus 6 minus x times by x minus 3. Leave the bottom line as it is, don't expand it because it's already in its simplest form and it's factorised into two brackets. However, we do need to expand the top, so we get x squared plus 6x minus x squared plus 3x. Be careful here, it's minus x times minus 3, which makes the plus, divided by x minus 3, x plus 6, x squared, subtract x squared disappears, 6x plus 3x gives us 9x over x minus 3, x plus 6. That's the final answer. Simplify the following fraction. Need to start recognising that the one on the top is a difference of two squares because all three elements are squares. So we have a double bracket, a plus in one and minus in the other. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 100 is 10. And that's the top. On the bottom, there's no x squared, so this is just going to be simple factorising. So we're looking for anything that's common. The only thing that's common is 2, and then to get 14x, I would need to times by 7x, and to get plus 20, I would need to times by plus 10. And then we see that that bracket and that bracket are identical. As soon as we have a bracket that's identical, we can cancel it, and then we get 7x minus 10 all over 2. With any of these type questions, it's highly unlikely that you won't be able to cancel something. They set these questions up with the intention of you being able to cancel a bracket. If you can't, just double check to make sure you haven't made a mistake. Very simple indice rules for the bottom question. These are both the same, so it's the same as almost having x to the power of 8 divided by x to the power of 6. So all we do is subtract the powers. When you see something like this, if you're unsure, look at how many marks it's worth. It's only worth 1 mark. It's highly unlikely that you're going to have to do much work. So just, if you're unsure, look at the marks to give you an idea. Express 0.435 as a fraction. So we're going to let a equal 0.4353535. And we're going to times by 100. And we're going to take 2 of these numbers across the decimal point. So we get 43.53535. We find that the repeat lines up lovely apart from at the first point, so we are now going to subtract. So we get 99a equals, these will all disappear, so we have 43.5 minus 0.4, which gives us 43.1. So a is 43.1 divided by 99. We obviously can't have the decimal in the fraction, so we times the top and the bottom by 10 to get 431 over 990. Express 100 to the power of minus half as a fraction. So anything with a minus power means 1 over the same thing with a positive power. Fortunately, that's not enough with this because you also have to use the fact that a half means square root to say that this is 1 over the square root of 100, which is 1 over 10. Surds, given that f is this, g and that, and h, work out fg divided by h. So fg is root 2 root 5 divided by root 10. Hopefully you would recognise that root 2 root 5 is actually the same as root 10. So this is root 10 divided by root 10. Anything divided by itself is 1. Fg plus h. So Fg is root 2 root 5 again, plus root 10. Using the same fact, that's root 10 plus root 10, which means we have 2 root 10s. In the same way that if it was x plus x, we'd have 2x. F times h. So this is root 2 times root 10. Break the root 10 down to simplify it, so we get root 2 root 5, and then we see that root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this is 2 root 5. Draw the graph of v equals f 5t minus t squared, from 0 to 5. So we're going to have t values and then the corresponding v, and they want t from 0 to 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when t equals nothing, 5 lots of nothing, take away nothing is nothing. When t equals 1, 5t minus 1 is 4. When t equals 2, we get 10 minus 4, which is 6. At 3, we get 15 minus 9, which is also 6. At 4, we get 20 minus 16, which is 4. And at 5, we get 5 5s is 25 minus 25, which is 0. So we've got our values, and then it's up to us to plot and draw the graph. So we're going to have the time across the bottom, and we're going to have the velocity up the side. Make sure you label your axes. If they don't give you the axes, it's up to you to label them. So 0 is in the corner, we're going from up to 5 this way, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going up to 6 this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't have to use all the squares they give you, they are there for you to decide for yourself. So 0, 0 is this point here, 1, 4, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 4, and 5, 0. Because this has a square in it, you do need to join this up with a smooth curve and not join it up using a ruler. When you get to this point here, because it is a curve, you do need to go a little higher and come back down. It's not okay to just go straight across there, because that obviously wouldn't happen with a curve. Last question then, the acceleration of this particle is 0 when t equals what? Well, acceleration is the slope. So at this point here, there is absolutely no slope. So that is a time of 2.3. Find the approximation for the acceleration of this particle when t equals 1. So at t equals 1, that's here. We need to draw a tangent at that point, and then we need to work out the gradient of that tangent. So I'm going to draw a line all the way through, and then I'm going to turn this into a massive triangle that is a width of 4.8. So we've got 4.8 across and a height of 5, and then the gradient is found by doing 5 divided by 4.8, which is 50 divided by 48, and then we need to work out how many times, obviously need to simplify that fraction. So how many times does 48 go into 50? Once, and there are 2 48ths left over, which is the same as 1 and 24th. If you've got anything around the 1 mark, you'll get the correct answer. They do give you some leeway because it depends on your tangent. And they ask for the units of your answer. The units of acceleration are meters per second per second. Find the approximation for the distance between t0 and t equals 4. This is trapezium rule, so we get a half times by y0 plus yn plus 2 lots of y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus dot dot dot. So a half. At t equals 0 is the value for y0. Well, that's 0. At t equals 4, the value is 3. And then it's 2 lots of everything in between. So in between 0 and 4 we have 1, which is at 1. We have 2, which is at 3. And we have 3, which is at 4. And then it's a case of just simplifying this answer. So we get a half, and then it's 3 plus 2 times 7, 8. So 2 times 8. So this becomes a half of 16 plus 3, which is 19. And a half of 19 is 9.5. Again, if you're slightly out with that, they will possibly let you get away with it, but not so much as the one above. And that is the end of the paper.